have headed into our WAFCON updates, where we'll be giving you updates of what's happening over there in Morocco. And of course, the biggest update is that Nigeria Super Falcons are now in the semi-finals of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Mission X is still very much possible for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We've got our correspondent, Onyinyechi Obaroh, who I'm sure she should be smiling, because I saw her yesterday when the camera caught her where she was celebrating with other journalists and fans of the Super Falcons, celebrating that huge victory for the Falcons right there in Morocco. Thank you for joining, Onyinyechi. And as well, we have Lucky, who his team, they were quite unlucky yesterday against the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And I warned Lucky. I said, look, you should be careful what you wish for. He said it was going to end 3-2 in favor of Zambia, but he ended the other way around. Nigeria teaching Zambia a footballing lesson, 5-0 in that one. Welcome to the show, Lucky, and great to have you with us, Onyinyechi Obaroh. I'd like to hear from Onyinyechi first about what the fans are saying over there in Morocco.
Thank you so much, Udoka. Let me begin with a jab at Lucky. Lucky, I'm sorry, it was the other way around. It's just that we added 2, for extra change to the Zambians there. It was a good encounter. The fans were really, pumped up concerning this result from the Super Falcons of Nigeria. The atmosphere here for football-loving fans, it's really elated, because every one of them are so satisfied with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We have always clamored for goals. You hear them say, all we are saying, give us 1 goal, give us more goals. That's what they are saying from the previous matches in the group stage. But the Super Falcons truly have been able to work on that goal-scoring farm, get back their goal-scoring mojo, and they had Folashade Ijamilusi also finding the back of the net. At the end of the day, she was going forward, backward, defending. Ihezuo was also defending. It was a great performance from the Super Falcons yesterday. It was a collective win by them, and I must say a big congratulations. The atmosphere here for football-loving fans is elated, Udoka.
Elated atmosphere, and we are indeed also celebrating right here in Nigeria. But Lucky, yes, it was supposed to be a very tough match for Nigeria Super Falcons, and some actually tagged it the final of the final. I like what Victor Okoronkwo is doing right there, showing you his fingers. It's 5. It's 5. But Lucky, it was supposed to be the final before the finals. But what happened? What exactly happened to the Zambian team? Falling apart. The likes of Barbra, Banda, Kundananji was also nowhere to be found yesterday. Chanda, who we thought was going to bring in a vibe yesterday, was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, very unfortunate situation that Zambia found themselves in, losing 5-0, which is the biggest so far, the biggest defeat at this tournament. As you rightly mentioned, a lot of things did not work out. Barbra, Banda, Kundananji combination could not be found, but it all goes down to how good the Nigerians have started the Zambian team. I think they really put in their hard work in terms of just how they were going to stop Zambia's threat, which was coming from Kundananji or Barbra, Banda. With these two not being active, I think it was difficult to see where Zambia were going to get a goal. An early goal from the Nigerians and set up the Zambian defense. And one thing that we noted is the technical bench for the Super Falcons had started that Zambia were failing to deal with the long balls. We don't have a goalkeeper who is able to go for those in drives that are coming in the box. We don't have the defenders that are able to challenge for those long balls that were being thrown by the Nigerians. All in all, I think most of the players were taken off the game. We could say a bit of ignition from Barbra, Banda, but it was far from the areas which could hit the Nigerian defense or the goalkeeper. I think this was well planned by the team. On the other hand, I think it gives me also an impression that was nowhere to be seen, and these have been some of the problems that the coach has consistently been talking about, wanting to work on those. And in that game, I think she has been exposed. On the flip side, you'd say maybe Zambia wasn't so tested the games. Nigeria have been very good. They have done so well.
All right. For Victor Okoronkwo, I mean, a huge performance for the team right there. And, of course, for a lot of questions have been asked about the coach, Justin Madugu. But yet again, he has proven that his team can score goals And we did see those goals yesterday. What would be your rating of the coach and how the team played yesterday, Victor?
Hi, Lucky. Nice to meet you again. But then, of course, I think there was one thing that we did that was quite different, and that was the fact that the gaffer pulled a shock move on everyone, including Nigerian fans out there, going with who just want defensive midfielder in Ayinde, Racheal Ayinde also. And of course, going with Racheal Ijamilusi topping in central areas, our set pieces, going with Ijamilusi up front alongside the Ihezuo, and of course, Okoronkwo was something many people did not expect we would see. But then there it was, and of course, the combination of Echegini and Ajibade in the central areas in attack actually gave us some much needed impetus up front. We needed to win those fouls. We needed to be able to draw them into fouls so that our set piece would come more consistently and would give them much more pressure. Given that we had the physical advantage over there when it comes to aerial abilities. I think these are some of the things that played in our favor. And of course, Madugu showing that, yes, we can actually get different ways to get goals in was quite something. And the fact that the Zambians could not actually identify and stop whatever we were trying to bring on over the course of the game, over 90 minutes, was something that you would see was well executed by host Nigerians. And this is the moment I would say, yes, kudos to the gaffer of the team. I'm talking about Madugu. He did brilliantly well. Kudos to the girls for having that fighting spirit. The message in the camp was clear from the beginning. And of course, now with 5 goals, Mission X is halfway through. And it's just remaining 5 more goals. I wonder who the next opponent will be. But then, Madugu, on you go.
And I know Onyinyechi is a very busy woman over there in Morocco. I'd like to ask her one question before I let her go. There's also Itoro Jimmy who has joined us as well. But Onyinyechi, before I let you go, what were the fans saying yesterday? And for the Zambians, what exactly hit them after the game?
The fans here in Nigeria were really, really happy with that performance. I would say they cheered the Super Falcons all through the game, the 90 minutes of action plus extra time. I would say they cheered them because the absence of the supporters club did not affect the fans from going all out, hyping the team, cheering them, giving them nicknames. And every time Ashley Plumpton has the ball on her feet, they go, Oyibo, Oyibo. It's a beautiful one, and that really hypes her up. Not to talk of the Black Diamond. Of course, you will know the Black Diamond, Chinwendu Ihezuo. That beautiful, beautiful orchestrated goal by Chinwendu Ihezuo. In fact, that should be one of in contention for the goal of the tournament because she carried that long ball from Chiamaka Nnadozie and then ran down to the front of the net and she was able to convert that, even going one-on-one with the goalkeeper from Zambia. I think that was beautiful. First, controlling the ball with her chest and then tipping it into the net. It was a beautiful one from Chinwendu Ihezuo, and that made it a double goal for Nigeria. Not forgetting that Esther Okoronkwo was also wonderful on the day. She now has played 4 games, 4 assists, 1 goal to her name. Esther should be in contention for one of the player of the tournament if they're looking at shortlist for the player of the tournament, but I'm still waiting until Nigeria, of course, goes further in this competition. So the fans were really happy. They carried their celebration away from the stadium because at every time we were done with the matches in the stadium, the officials from the Moroccan Football Federation keep telling fans to leave the stadium, They want to lock the stadium. So the fans moved away from the fan stand after the whole press conference and moved outside the gates of the stadium. They kept dancing, they kept singing, and of course there's one particular journalist, a lady journalist here in Morocco, Tracy Chappelle. She goes all out with them, keep hyping them, keep making them cheer, and they continued for 15 minutes even after the game outside the stadium of the Laribizuli. So it was a beautiful one. The fans were really at work. They were doing a good job on the stands, and they were also the ones who helped the Super Falcons to get this fantastic win. The Super Falcons had to thank them after the whole thing. You know the normal tradition when the Super Falcons thank the supporters club, no supporters club here, but they were thanking the fans.
Right, thanking the fans, and it was a huge and beautiful one because we all saw this on TV, how the fans were chanting, give us more goals, and goals kept on coming in. So it was a beautiful experience for Nigerian fans right there. I'll say thank you very much, Onyinyechi, Obaroh, for your time, and we look forward to more updates from you. And Lucky, we will surely be here holding your hands, saying thank you for that beautiful game. Thank you for allowing us to score 5 goals. Of course, we wish Zambia well in other competitions, but thank you, Lucky, for joining the show today. And of course, I've still got Itoro Jimmy, who is also here. I'd like to ask Itoro, now Mission X is still right here on the table. Going into the semi-finals, Nigeria will play against either Senegal or South Africa. Do you think we are now major favorites to win this one?
Okay, I'll say that going into this tournament, yes, of course, Nigeria was always a favorite to win it. Don't forget, with the Mission X, agenda already out there, it was already theirs to lose, if I may use that word, it's theirs to lose. I think going all out against Zambia yesterday was to reassure the fans and, the entire women football lovers that, look, we are here and we can do it, because we saw the way they struggled against Botswana and of course against Algeria in the in the group stages, and of course that was why there was so much anxiety going into the quarterfinal match against Zambia. But with that 5-0 win, yes, Mission X is still very, very much possible, and whoever that comes their way between South Africa and Senegal, if they play the way they played Zambia yesterday, I will assure you that definitely Mission X is just a tip away.
Mission X is just a tip away. Looking forward to the finals, hoping that Nigeria will make it to the finals, and it just might be Nigeria versus Morocco, but let's not count our eggs. Let's be careful what we wish for, but we look forward to the games between the games that will be going down later today. Senegal will take on South Africa. Ghana will also be in action playing against Algeria. But thank you very much, Itoro, for your time. Of course, we'll surely have you again when maybe tomorrow or next to give us more analysis on women's football.